What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. FantasyTeamAdvisors.com, bringing home the bacon, NFL DFS video. This is the Week 4 breakdown video. We are going to look at the entire slate. We're going to look at the highest games with the over-unders. This is the main slate breakdown. We already had the Thursday night showdown breakdown. We'll have the Sunday night football breakdown, and we'll have the Monday night football breakdown for you as well. So definitely get ready, get set, and let's get started with hopefully making this the best week so far through, obviously 3 weeks, the best DFS week of your NFL career. Hopefully you bring home the bacon. A lot of people brought home the bacon last week. We had a huge week, which was awesome. So we want to give you guys the best information possible. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at the highest over-unders. We're going to look at those games to target. Then we're going to get into those matchups, and we're going to look at those games. We're going to see which plays we like, see which plays are viable, and we'll go from there. And we're very excited to announce we have our first sponsor of the NFL season, and we're going to dig into that right now real quick. While I put it up on the screen, we're going to show you. So our sponsor is Parlay Play, and as you can see right here, you get a deposit bonus up to $100. So if you go to Parlay Play, you download the app, you sign in, and you sign up with the promo code FTAsports, deposit at least $10, they're going to match you. So up to $100, they will match. And here's the best part. If you sign up using our code, a minimum of $10, you will get a free month of DFS content, which also includes sports betting from FantasyTeamAdvisors.com. If you deposit $100 into Parlay Play right there, you're going to get a year pass to FantasyTeamAdvisors.com. And what I mean by that is normally our yearly pass is $199. You can technically get it for $100 by signing up and depositing. And on top of that, what they will do is they will match you $100. So right off the bat, you have FTA Plus for a year, and you get $200 to start playing with. Now, I'll kind of just give the little synopsis of what they are. So currently they're a fast-growing DFS sports platform. Their specific focus is on player props. When you sign up, you automatically get whatever you deposited. You match that plus a $5 free game. So what that is they also have free-to-play as well if you want to check it out. You can compete and track your picks against other users and ultimately trying to be towards the top of the leaderboard. There are leaderboards, and then there are prizes at that leaderboard. So on top of daily fantasy, on top of just hitting parlay picks, if you are correct, if you use the correct information, you can get onto leaderboards and get prizes on top of that, which is completely awesome. So they've also launched a new game called Huddles, available for most primetime games. Huddles is a feature live, in-game free and paid picks, a $1,000 jackpot, a fully interactive chat, live tweets and game highlights, and a live scoreboard with play-by-play and box scores to track all game stats. So kind of think Trivia HQ or whatever that was called, where you got into it, it was live, there was chat. They're rolling everything into one sports app for parlays, sports betting, and DFS, all wrapped into one. So it kind of all comes in together. I'm absolutely excited to partner with them. So if you guys want, like this video, go sign up, Parlay Play. You can follow them on Twitter. Their or X or whatever you want to call it. It's at parlay_play. We're very, very excited. You can go to their Twitter. You can sign up. It's on the Apple Store and Android Store. So go sign up, deposit. If you deposit $100, you're going to get everything that we offer for a yearly pass, plus an extra $100 to play with. We're very excited for it. If you have questions, let us know. This is going to be an awesome partnership. I'm very, very excited for the partnership. But back to what we're here for. We're looking at a breakdown. So let's just look at the Vegas odds. Now, the Vegas odds are currently right now Friday morning. We will update these Sunday morning. Just along with, if you haven't already looked at our all of our rankings videos, that is out. The ranking video is out for week 4, which I will put at the end of the video. That will be updated alongside the over-unders and the Vegas numbers Sunday morning, just like every Sunday. So just kind of looking at the games you want to focus on, Bills and Dolphins currently has the highest over-under 53.5. Chargers and Raiders is next at 48.5. I think this one right here might go up to over 50 if and when Garoppolo is confirmed to be in starting. So he went through limited practice, I believe, on Thursday. He's trending in the right direction to play this game, and if he is in, I think the over-under goes up even more, and I do love him as one of my favorite stacks, as the Chargers give up the most amount of fantasy points to both the quarterback position so far and the wide receiver position. So I will be focused on that game as well. I'll love it even more if it is Garoppolo. Then the Giants at the Seahawks is 47, Panthers, Vikings 46.5. Andy Dalton is not getting the start again. It seems like it's going to be Bryce Young for whatever reason, who has struggled, and Andy Dalton threw for 7,000 yards last week. Neither here nor there. So that being said, we're going to go through all of the games. We're going to look at them. If you have questions, get those down below. And just like anything else, any video, if this video gets at least 50 likes and you leave a comment and you are a subscriber, you have a chance to win a free week of DFS content. That week includes this NFL week, all of the NFL content through next Friday or Saturday, or whenever you watch this video. We've got NBA coming up in about a month. We've got PGA. We've got MMA. So there is no MMA this weekend. It is next weekend, so you'll still get into that. So that being said, let's jump into all of the matchups for the main slate. So the first, you can see this is the... Now, do remember that if you are playing season long, there is a game in England Sunday morning at 9:30 Eastern. So this is that game right there. Do not get screwed over by forgetting to set your lineup for that game. So the main slate starts with Miami at Buffalo, which has the highest over-under as of right now, which we're very excited about. So we know what Miami's offense did last week. 70 points. They absolutely decimated the Broncos. That was a Tua to Tyreek. That was also a Raheem Mostert and Devon Achane. Now, Ahmed is supposed to be back this week. I don't know if that's going to screw us over with Achane or not. I could see him vulturing, but I could also see, obviously, Mostert's RB1. Achane is RB2. Ahmed getting hurt might have screwed him over, and he might be trending downwards, which is kind of crazy to think about, but we'll look at that. Waddle is back, so that does take away a little bit of target share from Hill, but I mean, you can kind of look at, you kind of know what you're going to get there. So if Hill is double teamed, then Waddle opens up, and he is cheaper, so you could be looking at him. Barrios for tournaments I'm okay with, and that's probably it down the list there. Smythe really isn't getting involved as much as you would think. He has played 75% of the snaps this year, only 35% last week, and he was only targeted less than 4% last week, even with, but that was because they were up so big, they were running it. So I'm probably off of Croft. I'm probably off of Hill. The ones that are viable options for me in this offense would be Tua, Mostert, Achane, Hill, Waddle, maybe a little bit of Barrios. That's probably it for where I'm going there. Flip side of that with the Bills, because again, it's the highest over-under. If it's going to be the highest over-under, we're going to have to get some points from both sides. So if it's a close game, we're going to get the points on both sides. If it's a lopsided game, then the team that's going to be down obviously is going to have to start throwing the ball a ton. Will it be the Bills? I don't know, but we can look at it. So looking at this, Josh Allen, Miami secondary, their defense against the quarterback so far this year, not good. Ranked 29th on DraftKings, 29th on FanDuel. That brings us to then, here's my problem. Everyone's on James Cook at 6,300, where Latavius Murray has been vulturing some things. So if we just look at Murray real quick, we can just look at Lat Murray real quick. He vultured, I mean, he only had 15 yards last week on the ground, 6 in the air. He vultured a touchdown there. He vultured a touchdown in week 2 against Las Vegas. While he's not a legitimate DFS candidate, his chance for a touchdown seems pretty good, maybe for sports betting, maybe for parlay picks. That's called a callback for parlay play. So he'd be a parlay pick for me on there. I love to do touchdown picks. If you've been with us and you've seen our DFS content and you've seen our sports betting, you know we love parlay picks for touchdowns. We love parlaying picks for passing yards or receiving yards. So we absolutely love parlay picks there, and that's going to play very well with parlay play. So, that being said, Lat Murray's probably not a DFS option. He'd be more of a parlay or if you do a solo touchdown pick, he would be one that I could see there. The pick for DFS would be James Cook. So, I do love, and if I have a stack article out, you can go check that out on the website. I have a Josh Allen, a James Cook. Obviously, Stephon Diggs is going to be expensive. If you don't want to pay up that much, you could be looking at Gabe Davis, as we can see. Stephon Diggs saw 38% of the targets last week, 30% on the year. Gabe Davis is there as well. He's getting touchdown looks. He's getting thrown the ball. He's getting targeted. So we can kind of see Gabe Davis. And again, the secondary for Miami, they're not good. 26th overall, 23 on FanDuel. And then the tight end position is kind of where I'm not using Quentin Morris. It is up in the air between Knox and Kincaid. The problem is they're right around the same price, which is unfortunate. They're not getting targeted a ton. Tournament-wise, I kind of like Kincaid a little bit more. But again, if you're building a Buffalo stack, an Allen, a Cook, Diggs or Gabe Davis, whichever one, and then you kind of got to figure out if it's going to be Knox or Kincaid. So just looking at that, I don't know if I'll have much exposure to the tight end position there, but I will have exposure to both sides of the ball, and I absolutely love this game. It is a very high over-under. Then we get a Denver versus Chicago. I don't know what Chicago is doing. They know that Fields is not a pocket passer. They know he's better on the road or on the run, moving. They're not allowing that. I don't know what's going on. This is a fantastic matchup for Justin Fields if Denver plays like they did last week against Tua. The problem is Chicago needs to just let Fields run rampant. I will have exposure to Fields. It has screwed us over in the past. I will have exposure to both sides. So on the Denver offense, I would look at Russell Wilson, Javonte Williams. I would look at Courtland Sutton a little bit more than Jerry Jeudy. I just like his price difference on DraftKings. On FanDuel, I don't. The pricing on FanDuel this week is kind of weird. I would look at him. I might even look at Troutman. You can kind of see. So Chicago's run defense this year currently ranked 31st against him. So Javonte Williams is good. Samaje Perine, he's one that if you want to look, you can kind of look at Perine. He's stealing some looks. This is true. So Williams here, he's averaging 8.7. You can kind of see. He doesn't have a touchdown this year, though. And then we got Perine here, game logs. He's not really getting the run, but he is getting passing. So the passing work plays on DraftKings. FanDuel probably wouldn't play Perine on FanDuel. DraftKings I'm okay with. Obviously, we would like more touchdown out of these guys, and I think this could be the week for it. So I would look at him, and then Troutman would be where I'd go here. I wouldn't use Manhurts or pretty much any of the other wide receivers. With Russ, again, they can go off. I feel more confident not using anyone below Jerry Jeudy and Courtland Sutton on that list. Chicago-wise, Justin Fields I'm looking at. Obviously, I want to pair him up with DJ Moore, who's playing 93% of the snaps this year, played 100% last week, saw 30% of the targets last week with Justin Fields. So I would look at Fields. I would probably look at Khalil Herbert a little bit. I would look at DJ Moore. If you want to go very low because Chase Claypool's price is so low, I'm okay with that because he was targeted 20% of the time last week. But you can see, like, Denver's rushing offense, again, their numbers are skewed because of how trash they were last week. They ranked 30th of 32 on DraftKings. That's probably where I'm going. Maybe Cole Kmet. So I would look at Fields, Herbert, Moore, Claypool, and Cole Kmet. Probably be the only ones in that offense that I would look at. So next game, Baltimore at Cleveland. We know Cleveland's defense is pretty good. They are number one against the quarterback. That is Lamar Jackson. The ones I would look here would be Lamar Jackson. I would look at Justice Hill. Beckham was out last week. Honestly, I would look at Zay Flowers. If Beckham is back, I would look at him. But still questionable. Did not practice Thursday. I don't know if he'll be in or out. I think he's kind of, iffy on there. I would look at Zay Flowers. I would look at Mark Andrews. That would be the offensive players that I would look at here. Cleveland, Deshaun Watson. Jerome Ford, I would look at. He is kind of banged up, but so is Kareem Hunt after 11 touches last week or something. I would look at Deshaun Watson, Jerome Ford. I would look at Amari Cooper, had a fantastic week. We were all over Amari Cooper last week. He had 25% of the targets. Elijah Moore was another one. So I honestly do love a Cleveland stack this week. I would look at Watson, Ford, Cooper, Moore. I mean, pretty much Cooper, Moore, and DPJ I would look at. And then David Njoku a little bit I would look at there. That would be the offense that I would have for Cleveland, and that the game right there. So Cincy at Tennessee is next. Joe Burrow is not 100%. I don't know if he will be 100%. I love a Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, maybe even a Tyler Boyd. Pretty much the entire receiving core, these three main guys, Joe Burrow and Mixon. As you can see, Tennessee is terrible against the pass. They're very, very bad against wide receivers. And again, Joe Burrow is not 100%. We did see him overthrow his guys quite a bit on Monday Night Football, but I'm looking at him. I'm going back to the well against a very bad Tennessee team, and I am looking at Cincinnati defense. I do not trust Ryan Tannehill. If we look at Tannehill, just to look at Tannehill on the year, terrible week 3 against Cleveland, 4.16 fantasy points. Week 2, he did okay, did pretty good at 5,000. Week 1 against New Orleans, he had 3 interceptions. So he's got 1 touchdown to 3 interceptions this year. He's just looking bad. Cleveland's a good defense. We know this. I don't mind Cincinnati defense this week against him. Probably don't want anything to do with this offense outside of Derrick Henry. I look at Derrick Henry. That's probably it. I don't trust anybody else. I don't trust Tannehill. I feel like Tannehill is very close to like 1 or 2 more interceptions from being pulled from the game, and then the backup coming in, and then you're screwed if you did. I don't see a scenario where you do start Tannehill. I make 150 lineups. I don't think Tannehill is in one of them this week. I just don't trust him. I'm going away from Tannehill. I don't like him. So yeah, I'm more focused on Cincy, and then I would look at Derrick Henry here. Rams at Indy is next. I love me a Rams stack here. I was all over him the other night. Didn't look too good until the very last part of the fourth quarter where Stafford started throwing it. But yeah, I mean, you can see Stafford. It's got Indy ranks 27th against the pass here. The offense that I would look at would be Stafford, Kyron Williams, obviously Puka. I would look at Tutu. Maybe even Tyler Higbee. So Tyler Higbee on the years played 93% of the snaps, played 96% last week, and saw 15% of the targets last week. So yeah, Stafford, Williams, Puka, Tutu, and Tyler Higbee would be my player pool out of the Rams offense there. And then Indy, Richardson's going to be back, so I would definitely look at him. We know what he can do. 2 weeks ago, right as he got that concussion, had 2 touchdowns rushing. He's got the shot to throw it to people too. I would look at Richardson here. I would maybe look at a little bit of Zach Moss. I would look at Pittman, Josh Downs, and even Alec Pierce a little bit. Now, Pierce, his usage was up last week. I think it was just because Minshew was in there, whatever. I would look at him. And then probably tight end, I don't want anything to do with it. As you can see, they're not getting targeted much. They are playing some, they're playing the snaps, but they're not getting targeted enough for me. Again, some of these stats are skewed because we're 3 weeks in. But yeah, that's kind of my thought on the Indy offense that I would go with there. Then we got Tampa Bay versus New Orleans. We've got Baker. I would look at Baker. I would look at a little bit of Rachaad White. Obviously, Mike Evans or Chris Godwin. I would look at those two. And I'm probably away from the tight end position. I guess a little bit of Cade Otton as tournaments because he is so cheap. At least on DraftKings, I would. He's playing 95% of the snaps. Last week, he played 91%. He saw 8% of the targets. But yeah, so Mike Evans, Godwin, those would be the two that I'd look at with Mayfield. Now, New Orleans is the new thing. It sounds like it's going to probably be Winston. Let's see if it's confirmed. Yeah, he's ruled out. I would assume he's going to miss it. So, Derek Carr is 5,500. So then Jameis right here is 5,300. Now, not too long, 3 years ago, he was throwing the ball. He was doing a lot of things for this Tampa Bay team. Now he's on New Orleans. Now he's playing in a dome against his former team. I love me some Jameis Winston here. I'm just going to remove Carr because he's not going to play. So I don't mind Jameis Winston. Taysom Hill is a tight end for most just sites. He would be the tight end. I would look at Winston, but he might be the backup. To be honest, Taysom Hill might be the backup quarterback for this week due to being on the depth chart now. So I would look at Jameis Winston at a very low price. I would probably so this does need to be updated. Alvin Kamara is in this week. I need to update this. Kamara will be in, so he is an option. If we look at Kamara's price, trying to see if he's going to be on any sort of, touching. Yeah, it looks like he's going to be good. He's obviously above Tony Jones and Kendre Miller. He is the RB1. With Jamal Williams gone, hurt for X amount of weeks, I'm definitely looking at Kamara here. I just don't know if he's going to have a shortened workload. So that's something to look at in this matchup. So Kamara, I would look at Winston. I would look at Kamara. And then, obviously Olave and Michael Thomas. Michael Thomas will save you some money here, but he's playing 77% of the snaps on the season, 75% last week, and he saw 26% of the targets opposed to 32% from Olave last week. So those would be the ones that I'd use. I would use Winston, Olave, Michael Thomas, and Alvin Kamara in this New Orleans offense. Then we get a good matchup here. I love this. Washington at Philly. You've got an over-under 43. You've got Philly, implied team total of 25.14, where Washington has 20.45. The way Philly's defense has been, honestly, I don't know if I'm playing anything from this lineup. I might look at Robinson or Logan Thomas for tight end. But other than that, I don't trust Sam Howell. McLaren's let us down a lot. Jahan Dotson's let us down more times than not this year. I'm mainly focused on Philly. And as you can see, I would love Jalen Hurts here. I would put him up with DeAndre Swift, who we know is absolutely dominated. Last week, rushed 40% of the time. But as you know, Gainwell or Boston Scott can always vulture touchdowns from him. So just use that information. Everyone was on Devonta Smith last week, where if you watched our breakdown video, I said take A.J. Brown. He absolutely went off last week. 40% of the targets went to A.J. Brown. He is their wide receiver 1. Devonta Smith is their wide receiver 2. I love this offense. So, is Quez Watkins out again? Yeah, so if Quez Watkins is in, he does have a hamstring problem. If he is in, I do not like the next play. But if he is out, again, I like Zacchaeus yet again. Very cheap, $3,300. He had a touchdown last week. As you can see, Washington ranks 17th out of 32 against opposing wide receivers. I would look at that. So in this offense, I love this offense. There's a lot of moving parts. So probably if I'm making different Philly stacks, there's multiple ones you could look at. So Jalen Hurts, DeAndre Swift, I would look at A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith. If Watkins is out, Zacchaeus I do like. And obviously, I'm always in on a Dallas Goedert type player and Dallas Goedert in general. Next game, Minnesota at Carolina. One of my other stacks. So this was a stack last week. I love it again here. So I'm a little soured on Madison. We know that he's got the stuff to get touchdowns. He has let us down more times than not. Now Cam Akers is in the mix. I don't know how much he's actually going to mess with Madison's workload. This will be his first week with them. I would look at that. Actually, since making this, Myles Gaskin has been released. So, in this offense for Minnesota, I would be looking at Kirk Cousins. I would be looking at Jefferson. I would look at Addison. I would look at KJ Osborne. And I would look at TJ Hawkinson. Those would be the offensive players I would look at here with an implied team total of 24.62. And then Carolina, the underdogs in this one. I guess I'm looking at Bryce Young a little bit because Minnesota they are ranked 31st out of 32 against the quarterback. So he's a cheap option at $5,200 for tournaments. I don't mind him. I would look at Bryce Young. I would look at Miles Sanders. Thielen had a fantastic week last week. I'm looking at him again because Minnesota ranks 31st out of 32 against the opposing wide receiver. So stacking Bryce Young with wide receiver core plus Miles Sanders, I love that. I really do. I would be looking at that. I would be looking Shark a little bit. He did play 93% of the snaps last week opposed to 51 on the year. And he saw 90% of the targets. So, again, I don't know if that's the rapport with Andy Dalton and him. That's a little skewed as well. So I would be looking at Young, Sanders, Thielen, Shark, maybe Hayden Hurst. Those would be the ones that I feel confident enough in that lineup for Carolina. Then we get to Pittsburgh at Houston. The problem is this whole right here. You can see Najee Harris is supposed to be the RB1. Last week he saw 3% of the targets where Warren saw 14%. So on DraftKings, obviously PPR kind of format, you're going to get more points using that. And you can see Houston's the worst against the run this year. So do you want to pay Najee Harris $5,500 or do you want to pay down for Jaylen Warren at $5,000 because he is involved in that passing game? I'm okay with both of those. Then it gets to wide receiver. I would look at Pickens and Austin the third, maybe a little bit Allen Robinson, and then Freiermuth, and that would probably be as far down as I go for Pittsburgh. And then the surprise game of the week, I think, the amount of points Houston put up on Jacksonville and won the game. C.J. Stroud has been on fire this year. I would look at C.J. Stroud. Pittsburgh is ranked 17th overall against the quarterback, so I would look at Stroud. Probably, maybe a little bit Dameon Pierce. I don't like him a lot, though. I would move down and look at a Nico Collins or a Tank Dell. Or tournament-wise, I would look at Robert Woods. As you can see, Pittsburgh ranks 25th against the wide receiver. And I'm probably off of the tight end. So, yeah, I would look at a little bit of Stroud, a handful of Pierce, and then the wide receiver core would be what I'd look at for Houston's offense. Next game, the Raiders at the Chargers. Again, if Garoppolo is in, I absolutely love him. I would look at Garoppolo. Josh Jacobs is kind of expensive considering he really hasn't done much for us. He's 7,100. He's got not much. 62 yards there, -2 in week 2, 48 yards there. Does not have a touchdown on the year. 108 yards in 3 games is not a lot. He's very expensive. I don't know if I trust him enough. I'm looking at Garoppolo. I'm looking at Devontae Adams. I'm looking at Jacoby Myers. And I might look at Austin Hooper. But we saw last week, Hooper wasn't even targeted last week at all. Michael Mayer was. And they're both at pretty much the same price. So I'm more focused on Myers, Adams, and Garoppolo. Maybe throw Jacobs into tournaments because we know that he can have a 200-yard game. Just he has not put it together this year so far. Then we look at the Chargers against the Raiders. I love Justin Herbert. Austin Eckler, I don't know if he's going to play. Everyone's been screwed with using Josh Kelly. He was limited participant, though, so he could be in there, but he's very expensive for someone who's dealing with an issue of his leg that is going to be what he uses in this game. If he comes back and he's deemed healthy, I do like Eckler. I'm off of Kelly. I'm off Dotson. I don't want Spiller. I would then. Keenan Allen absolutely destroyed everything last week for my lineups. Like when I say destroyed, I mean he destroyed the competition, killed it for me. I would look at Herbert. I would look at Eckler. I would look at Allen. That then obviously pops up Josh Palmer in here since Mike Williams is done for the year. I think everyone's going to be on Gerald Everett. I kind of want Donald Parham. Had 2 touchdowns last week, 2,800, 4,900 on FanDuel. Saw 12% of all targets last week as well. Was only behind Keenan Allen and Palmer for targets. So those would be the ones I'd look at in this lineup. Then we got New England at Dallas. You've got the problem is Dallas' defense is supposed to be good. Obviously, we saw them get how do I put it nicely? Bent over last week against Arizona. I think they ended with 1 fantasy point on DraftKings. But do I trust Mac Jones? I don't trust Mac Jones. Then you've got Ramondre, but then Zeke is there, could steal some looks from him. Kendrick Bourne saw 18% of the snaps last week. Devontae Parker. I honestly don't know if I'll have much exposure to New England, if any exposure at all. I'm probably off of the New England train this week. Dallas train, I would look for a bounce back from Dak. Pollard had a good game. I would look for another bounce back game from him. And then wide receivers, as you can see, Lamb, Cooks, and Gallup all saw 18% or almost 19% of the targets last week, along with Jake Ferguson. And we were on Jake Ferguson. So the plays that I would use in this Dallas offense, Dak, Pollard, Lamb, Cooks, maybe a little bit of Gallup, and then I would look at Jake Ferguson over Hendershot and Schoonmaker here, basically being right around the same price and then just a little bit more for Ferguson. Then we got Arizona at San Francisco. I don't think Arizona has a chance. I didn't think they had a chance last week, I guess. Tournament-wise, I think you do go with Arizona because everyone's going to be on San Francisco's defense. 100%. I would look at Josh Dobbs. I would look at Connor. I would look at Marquise Brown. I would look at Rondale Moore. And then I would look at Zach Ertz in this one. I do think this is a tournament-only dart-type throw where just close your eyes, throw a dart at the dartboard. Arizona's offense, no one was on them last week. I would look to them this week. But again, San Francisco's defense is very good. They're third overall out of 32 versus the wide receiver, or the quarterback. They ranked number 1 against stopping the run against running backs. They do give up some points to wide receivers, that is true, but then against tight ends, they're pretty good as well. So overall, the defense is very good. I wouldn't trust any players from Arizona as a cash option at all. And then San Francisco, you got Brock Purdy. We know what he's done. We can see that Arizona's offense or defense ranks 25th against the quarterback. Christian McCaffrey is our number 1 running back pretty much every single week. He scored a touchdown in, I think, like 6 straight games, 3 this week. Arizona's run defense ranks 29th out of 32. I would definitely look at him. Obviously, Elijah Mitchell could vulture some things, but I think it's McCaffrey until it's a blowout, and then Mitchell will come in. So that's my thought in that one. I wouldn't look at Mason. I wouldn't look at Davis Price. Wide receivers, Arizona's pretty good against wide receivers. They rank 7th of 32, but I'm still looking at Debo. If Ayuk is in, I'm looking at Ayuk. If Ayuk is out, then I love me some Ronnie Bell, a very cheap option. Ray McLeod I would look at there. And then George Kittle, obviously, big guy, played 82% of the snaps this year, saw 26% of the targets last week, and Arizona ranks 32 out of 32 against the tight end position. That would be my thought in the San Francisco game. And then we will cover the Sunday night game and the Monday night game in separate videos. So this was for the main slate. A lot of people wanted the main slate to break down because more people played main slate than anything else. So that is the breakdown. If you have any questions, let me know down below. Again, 50 likes equals a free week. 100 likes equals a free month, 125 likes equals a free year, and 150 likes equals a lifetime pass as long as you like the video and you leave a comment so the comment picker can pick you up. And again, parlay play. Anyone who deposits $100 will get a $100 match plus a $5 free game using the promo code FTAsports, and you'll get a free year pass on top of that. So, free year to fantasyteamadvisor.com plus $200 to play with plus a $5 free game if you download Parlay Play and use the promo code FTAsports right here. I will link it down below in the description of this video, and we'll get you set up. All you got to do is provide proof that you signed up using our code. It will get you set up. And this is an ongoing thing. This isn't a this week only, but get in now while you can. I've already played a little bit. I can tell you right now, if anyone's been around since like when we did Drafters and we did Victiv, the other sites that weren't FanDuel or DraftKings, the competition so far over there with the leaderboards, not that hard right now. But once more people start seeing this and start signing up, that's when the Sharks get over there. They circle and they take over. Let's be the Sharks. Let's sign up. Let's dominate the leaderboards. Let's have some fun with DFS, parlay play, sports betting, everything rolled into one. So that's what I've got in this video. If you have not check out the other videos that are linked here. Good luck this week. And as always, let's bring home some bacon. Peace.